After enjoying Diablo 1, I decided to hop into Diablo 2. A sale was going on for Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is a remaster of Diablo 2. And it has my favorite thing in a remaster: the ability to switch back and forth from the old graphics to the new graphics. Since I first witnessed this thing in the Halo Anniversary Edition, it's been something I've wanted in every remaster. Being able to switch back and forth between the old and new graphics, it's just incredible. I love it so much, and I wish it was in all of them. Not only do the old games get to live on that way, but it's just really neat to flip back and forth and see the before and after. And even more exciting is that I think the art team did a really good job translating the original vision here to the same thing, but with better looking graphics. Each time I checked it, I was impressed that the vision kinda stayed the same for the most part, but better. So at least in those respects, I think it's an amazing remaster. As for the mechanics and such, I couldn't tell ya, as I've only played the remaster and not the original. Now, Diablo 1 was not very big. Diablo 2 is a lot bigger. Everything about it is bigger, and not twice as big. I'm thinking it's probably 3 or 4 times as big. Something I wasn't ready for. Class-wise, you got double the classes now, and honestly, all of them are super cool. Normally, I can pick a class pretty quickly, but in this case, the options all looked so good that it was a lot harder to pick. I thought about how cool the necromancer would be, because I could summon my own armies to fight the armies of the enemy, but then I was like, nah, what if I get bored because I'm just summoning and not directly fighting? And things like that kept making me go between the characters over and over and over again. Eventually, I went with the Paladin, which is a choice I wouldn't have chose again. To be fair, the Paladin is not bad whatsoever. There's a lot I like about him. But if I was to replay, I would pick someone with more range, like a Sorceress or an Amazon. I specifically built my Paladin up like Wolverine, where it was mainly about healing and melee combat. And I mostly traveled with a mercenary that was built like Iceman, so he could freeze him and I would slash him. Plus, the attack I was using did elemental damage of every kind. And yeah, it used mana, but I had a defensive aura that constantly healed my health and mana, so it didn't really matter. I eventually got some range stuff, I could summon hammers in a circle and then eventually lightning. And all in all, it wasn't so bad. I just think I would have picked someone with more range for boss fights mainly. As for the level design, this was quite different too. There are 5 acts, and each act has its own land to explore. And each land has multiple parts, and each part takes you about a half hour to run through. And those lands could have dungeons and caves to go through as well. In short, it takes a lot longer, and also takes you a lot longer to actually find your objective. And to be honest, at first I was not feeling that at all. I much preferred the way Diablo 1 worked. But honestly, if you just hug all the walls and then hit the middle after, it's really not so bad. And as I kept playing, my perspective changed to where I was actually kinda digging it. Plus, it's kinda cool seeing all the other lands and getting a change of scenery. It keeps the game fresh. And honestly, if you played a Paladin, and so did someone else, and maybe a third person also joined, there's a chance that everyone is going to have a different build on their Paladin, and their characters will end up pretty different. And I think that leaves a lot for replayability and keeping it fresh. When I finished, I considered doing another run under a different build, and I think it's cool that the builds can be different enough for that. I'm still not a fan of randomized generated lands, and I never will be, but Diablo always does it better than what I'm used to from other companies doing that. Another complaint is you can't pause the game. I get the reason, it's so you can stay in the action, but I'm an adult with things going on in my life, and sometimes I need to pause the game. Now, most of the time I could just clear an area, hide in a corner, and then take the dog out, or use a town portal or whatever, but sometimes it just didn't work out that way. Plus, the first game had manual saves, and Diablo 2 only has auto saves. I mean, there is a manual one if you save right as you're exiting the game, but that's a little different. You're exiting the game. Normally this isn't a problem, but for Diablo 2, it meant if I finished half an area, I couldn't just return back to that area where I was. I'd have to fight all the enemies that I had previously fought all over again, which for grinding is fine, but for respecting my time sucks ass. Now in Diablo 1, when you beat it, your character kinda starts carrying around Diablo's soulstone. See, canonically it's the warrior that does it, and I was playing as the rogue, so it's not like my character technically did it, but whatever. Point is, the main character starts carrying it around, and it's really fucking with them, turning them dark. And this is why in Diablo 2 we are a different set of heroes. However, that town from the first game, it's still there, but it's been ransacked by demons. Even the little peg-legged boy who was in the first game, he's dead. And for a short time I was using his peg leg as a weapon. Seeing the town that you fought to save in the first one just be destroyed was crazy. But seeing people from that game dead was even more crazy. It puts into perspective the threat you are facing. Now there is a survivor. It is Deckard Cain. He is the old dude from the first one who would identify magic items for you, and he does this here too, and he kind of plays a mentor expositional type of role here. Which reminds me, I didn't really talk about the town. So Diablo 2 gives you a lot of loot, and you got a portal back to town very often, and I mean, as it goes on, I got pickier and got to portal less, but Jesus Christ, towards the beginning I felt like I was portaling so much. Plus, it really felt like I was really only getting junk until I got to the DLC and actually started getting good shit. And the DLC was really good, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Also, the layout of the town is better, and you can run now, so that's cool. Story-wise, you gotta travel from area to area, defeating the Brothers of Diablo before defeating Diablo. And the boss fights are a lot harder than the first one, in my opinion. This Diablo kicked my ass, cause he could blast me with red lightning that would kill me in one hit if he could cage me before the blast, and it was some bullshit. And then when you die, it's not like the other Diablo where you just reload. When you die, you respawn back in town and you gotta make it back to where you were to grab your items. Which sometimes is okay, and other times is so far away you're like, no! But anyway, if I had to fight Diablo again, I would make sure to stack up on a lightning resistance for that fight. So yeah, it's harder, but the thing is the monsters stay the same level. They don't scale with you, and that's my favorite fucking thing. I do really like that so much more than when they scale with you. For those of you who don't know, what that means is if the monsters in an area are level 5 and you're struggling to beat them, go grind, go level up, and eventually come back to them, and they're gonna be easy now. They won't scale with you, and that's how it should be. Alright, so we beat the various bosses, and it leads straight into a DLC where we have to face Baal. And this is really cool. Not only are we fighting, but there are so many barbarians fighting with us. It's an army versus an army. Like if the Battle of Bruma had more than 12 guys. And honestly, the DLC was a lot of fun, and I liked it the most, I think. Plus it comes with the game, and it truly is the way to finish the story. Despite my complaining, I think I actually like Diablo 2 more than Diablo 1, and I could see myself replaying it with some friends instead of solo. I think it is meant to be played with friends. It's just I've been playing 1 and 2 solo. Anyway, looking forward to trying Diablo 3 at some point.